You're watching 11 Alive Morning News. 11 minutes of nonstop news starts now.
Kicking off your 11 minutes of nonstop news with a look on your forecast.
Chesley, do people need to grab an umbrella on the way out the door this morning?
I think they do, and they should just keep it in the back seat. They may not need it because it's only a 20% chance, but if you happen to get caught, then you got it right there. Sun is starting to rise, but you can see the clouds ahead of those, the sun rays. Thin clouds, so we will get some sun poking through that as we head through the afternoon. There are the clouds right there. We had a few showers earlier this morning. They're now out of the way. There could be a chance for some isolated showers to pop up a little bit later on this afternoon. Mild this morning. Temperatures are starting off in the 60s. Got some 50s sprinkled in, like Carrollton over there at 58. We're going up to 85 degrees for an afternoon high today. Guys, back to you.
Their work starts today, but it could be a year before we hear from a special grand jury that's looking into possible interference in the 2020 election.
They're going to focus on a phone call from former President Donald Trump to Georgia's Secretary of State. Jerry Carnes is live at the courthouse where there's a lot of security already. Jerry, take us through what this grand jury can do in this case.
Good morning. We just learned that the judge presiding over these grand jury hearings is going to allow cameras inside the courtroom to observe at least a portion of jury selection. This special purpose grand jury is being called by Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis. It will ultimately be up to her to decide what will happen. President Donald Trump has been steadfast in his claim that the 2020 election was stolen. Part of the grand jury's job will be to determine if a phone call from President Trump to Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger rises to the level of election interference. Members of the grand jury will be able to examine documents and call witnesses who up until now have been reluctant to talk. Former prosecutor Robert James tells us that the grand jury will then recommend a course of action for Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis, who will not be bound by their recommendation. Their report should be made public.
It is public, and there could be things in there that the DA agrees with and things in there that she doesn't agree with. The people do the investigation, right? Your peers do the investigation, and publicly they say what they believe should or should not be done. And so it's the quintessence of transparency in our society.
Again, the grand jury could meet for up to a year and then make that report to the Fulton County District Attorney. It is up to the grand jury to determine how often they will meet, and when they meet, we will see security like what you see behind me around the Fulton County Courthouse.
All right, Jerry, thank you. And because of that heightened security, there's going to be a lot of road closures. Let's get a closer look at that right now. Pryor, Mitchell, Central, and MLK all going to be shut down. You see that square right there. Only open if you're taking the bus. So if you have business in that area at the courthouse, you should check their website first. We also have this listed for you on 11alive.com.
Today, a murder trial will get underway for the man accused of killing Tara Grinstead. She was a teacher and beauty queen from Osceola. She disappeared 16 years ago. It was October 2005. Ryan Duke faces the possibility of life in prison without parole. This trial is expected to last more than a month and attract national attention. It's why 800 potential jurors have been summoned. Investigators say Duke confessed to killing Grinstead, but his lawyers are expected to argue that it was a false confession because he was on drugs. Jury selection starts today.
Keep an eye out on your bank account this week. Your balance could be going up. The surplus tax refund could start coming through this week. So the state of Georgia has about $2 billion more than what it needs. So it's sending a lot of that money back to Georgians who filed taxes over the past 2 years. Single filers could get up to $250, and couples who filed jointly will receive $500. You could see the money in your account by Wednesday.
Some of you might be headed out the door this morning to get in line to vote. Early voting starts today. One of the key decisions for voters is in the race for governor. 11 Alive's Molly Oak is outside the Buckhead Library. Molly, there's been controversy and questions about changes in Georgia voting laws. So what do people need to know today?
Yeah, this comes after the Georgia General Assembly passed a series of voting reforms last year. The important thing to know is to check your location ahead of time. Times can change. At the very least, expect them to be open 9 to 5. Some places could be open as early as 7 a.m. and stay open as late until 7 p.m. You want to be sure to check that location for specifics. Early voting runs through May 20th and will be open on 2 Saturdays this month. Now, speaking of location, if you're voting early, you can cast your ballots at any spot within your county. If you need to apply for an absentee ballot, listen up. You can download and print the application. You'll need to have a license or any kind of acceptable form of ID, and the deadline to request is May 13th. If you need to find a location, you can go ahead to 11alive.com. We've got you linked up for all the different spots. Guys.
All right, so that everybody can keep track of all the changes, Molly, we have an article breaking down everything you need to know. It's on 11alive.com. Time now is 6:56.
Let's get a look at what you need to know before you get ready to head out the door. This morning, the Hawk family will react to the outpour of support from the community after their loved ones were killed. Also, Mayor Andre Dickens is going to be talking today about what is going to come next after his first 100 days in office. We're going to have much more on that a little bit later this afternoon and what the mayor has to say, especially anticipating crime peaking as we go into the summer months.
In South Fulton, police and Councilwoman Helen Z. Williams are going to come together to talk about park safety. After a deadly shooting at Welcome All Park, investigators say Malik Hambrick was killed last month following a fight over a woman.
An NFL discrimination lawsuit hearing starts today. Brian Flores, who was fired as head coach of the Miami Dolphins, alleges the league has racist hiring practices. He claims the owner of the Dolphins offered him money to lose for better draft picks. 2 other coaches have also joined him in that lawsuit.
As early voting begins, the Atlanta Press Club is holding a round of primary election debates. It will host debates for Secretary of State, Insurance Commissioner, and the next state superintendent. The debates will happen throughout the day. Just check gpb.org, or you can go to the Facebook page for the Atlanta Press Club. Chesley?
All right, what are your plans for today, folks? If it's going to be anything outside, know that we'll have partly sunny skies around noon. Temperatures will be into the 70s, but going up into the 80s for an afternoon high. It will be very warm for us. The clouds will start to increase as well around the 3 o'clock hour. There could be an isolated shower or two that will linger into early evening and then begin to dissipate once we lose the daytime heating. We'll go up to about 85 degrees for a high, back down to 83 by 6 o'clock tonight.
We are looking forward to cruising through a nice Monday, possible showers, but we're not scared.
No, not everyone will get wet, but carry your umbrella just in case.
Chesley told you so. Have a great day, everybody.